Drama, drama, drama. Funny that I'm making this video while the big drama momentum is happening within the community these days, but it seems like War Thunder needs some improvements to satisfy its players. So after the COD Mindman, Philly Daily and Dollars play, let's put my 2 cents into the table. Gaijin recently tried to satisfy their player base in the short term, but there are issues which are still unsolved. Everyone has their own priority list to fix in the game, but in this video I will talk about my top 10 things what I want Gaijin to change in War Thunder for the greater good. Also, this is my 200th video on this channel, so I would appreciate it if you would support me with a like and a sub. But anyway, let's start with the boosters. This thing is a cancerous experience in my opinion. It needs to be tweaked because it is one of the big reasons why the game feels toxic. Whenever I use a big 300 or 500% booster, I always feel huge pressure on me to play well, to not waste the booster and the opportunity with it. We all of us know these big boosters are cursed and we're gonna have an awful experience most of the time. So my suggestion is to either have an option to use the boosters at the end of the game or adding free charges on the boosters after activation, meaning we could play 3 games in a row and within that 3 games we could pick which one we want to use it before it expires on the 3rd match. With this method I think it would be a huge quality of life change and would make the whole experience much healthier and would inspire players to actually buy and use these boosters more often. 2. Adding different era brackets. Basically splitting World War II from Cold Wars, that's what I want. If you ever played World of Warcraft, you know there are PvP modes which are level oriented. It caps each level bracket like from level 10 to 19, 20 to 29 and so on, meaning if you're a level 19 player, you can be matched with level 20 or higher players. Level 19 in that bracket is the top of the line. This is a feature which Gaijin should use in War Thunder 2. So for example, if you are BR 6.7, that's the top of World War II. With this, people could enjoy their favorite era without fearing they're gonna be up-tiered against Cold War or prototype vehicles, making the whole experience much better and not frustrating as it is right now. I know it might be a bit biased because of Germany, but I do think the game would be much more fun if we would have different era brackets in the game. Of course, those crazy prototype tanks should go up higher era brackets like the mouse, but everything else which were produced till the end of the war and used on the battlefield should be involved in that era bracket. There are many people who are enjoying World War II era, including myself, and having this feature in War Thunder would be a great addition in my opinion. Also, having World War II maps specifically selected in that era would make the game much more immersive than it is right now. 3. Adding new game modes. Many big content creators said that the game hasn't really evolved in the last 12 years, which is somewhat correct. That's why I suggest to add more game modes. Every year Gaijin is testing new ideas for War Thunder on April Fool's events, and they had so many great ideas, like this year event, the Nuclear Thunder. You know, I hate ARB because it is unplayable as a bomber. You either dogfight well or gain nothing out of it. It is not really a new player friendly game mode, but Nuclear Thunder event was actually super entertaining and I had a lot of fun playing it, so something similar to that would be awesome to add. Also, the upcoming infantry mode will be a great addition to the game. I'm already super excited about that one too, and people who say that, but that's why we have enlisted man, we don't need that. That game is crap because of the squad system and it is World War II era, not Modern Warfare, so it is totally different vibe, so I'm looking forward for the new upcoming infantry game mode. Of course, I understand those players who are frustrating about this because it takes away resources from the main game into this project, but I really do think it has potential which is worth to explore. 4. Improving existing game modes. So tweaking the current game modes is heavily needed, starting with the capture point rewarding system. I think it is really outdated and super punishing as well if you fail to capture the point. For example, I'm pretty sure many of you had that moment when you almost captured the point alone, but in the last second you get killed and all of your hard effort to hold the line wasted into a big 0. You risk everything and gain nothing, unless if you manage to capture it till the end of course. Because of this, I suggest that to use similar rewarding system like Battlefield. In Battlefield, it rewards the players for every 10 to 15% of capturing progression while within the objective zone and getting a big bonus if you manage to capture till the end. I think War Thunder should have the same feature. It would also encourage people to play the objective more often. Also, ARB objectives are unbalanced in my opinion. When I started to play War Thunder, I always wanted to play as a big ass bomber, bomber, but I immediately regretted it because bombers in this game are an awful experience because you die instantly without reaching your objectives. While bombers are having big ass loadouts to destroy objectives, most of the times you never reach those objectives because other fighters in your team or premium airplanes will reach the objective before you and leave nothing for you to bomb. So my suggestion is to have a bomber limited objectives, which are only visible to bomber players, so non-bomber players would have their own objectives and they wouldn't steal anything from the bombers. Also making the bombers a bit tankier would be nice. 5. Map design tweaks. Redesigning large open maps to include more cover, alongside adding mechanics like user-defined, map-specific camouflages, weather effects, and so on. These changes are not crucial, but would be nice to have. However, fixing the spawn areas are crucial. Some maps are having direct line of sight of the enemy team's spawn location. Are you kidding me? And it is outrageous design-wise to let spawn camping happen that easily. Just put a forest, houses, rocks, or something to not have direct line of sight on the other team's spawn areas. Also stop butchering maps with these brain-dead variations. Instead of forcing players to focus on one single capture point in a small area, gives us more capturing points and larger maps. Like instead of 3 having 5 capture points so we could attack point D at last. 6. Better rewards. War Thunder really does not like to reward its players for their loyalty to the game because most of the rewards are crap. My suggestion is to improve the current system, like having better login streak reward for every 100 day, for example like getting 500 golden eagle or random camouflage, because right now it is really underwhelming how bad the rewards are, and not just for the login but for everything. The only thing which is somewhat good is the 2 weeks chest, but even that is rigged and 99% of the time you get useless things out of it like backup cards, so I think it should include much better rewards for players who stick with the game on the long term. Some random ideas, for example skins, avatars, maybe premium vehicles, or if it's too much to ask them, premium vehicles fragments, so if you have 4 copies of the same vehicle then you can get the vehicle itself. Just take some inspiration from other successful games, gaijin. 7. Improved battle pass. Maybe it is just me, but I think War Thunder's battle pass is one of the worst battle pass I ever witnessed in a video game. I never felt the need to buy a battle pass in War Thunder because the items in it are not attractive enough or simply just outright lackluster. Again, it needs better rewards in it, like camouflages, avatars, more vehicles, titles, something. Just take a look at Fortnite or Apex battle passes, those are maxed out of worthy items, skins, and when I say skins it doesn't mean weird ass skins, just normal regular military skins or camouflages are more than enough. So yeah, improve the battle pass. Also theme based battle pass would be awesome. 8. Improve other nations. So there is a saying that Gaijin is a Russian puppet company, and there might be some truth in it, especially when they add non-existent missiles, overperforming air armors, and buffed auto-loaders, while Western tanks are missing huge chunk of armor parts within their composite armor, or Gaijin just straight out refuses to buff the tanks which are obviously went through several upgrades throughout the years. Gaijin, it is time to buff up other nations to an acceptable level. Those nations don't have to be overperformed like Russia, but improving them is necessary in my opinion. For example, I preferred Russia more when I had slower autoloaders because it felt more challenging and more real. That buff was super unnecessary, but maybe it's just me I guess. 9. BR decompression. It has some connection to point 2, but it goes beyond than just World War II. Widening the battle rating brackets to prevent modern high-tech vehicles from facing under-tiered or vastly outmatched opponents would be such a quality of life change and would make the grinding less cancerous than it is right now. So let's make it happen. 10. It might be a bit personal, but SPAs. This is one of the most cancerous experience in my opinion, especially from BR 8.0 when SPAs just sprays on you and you die almost instantly, having zero chance to react because it glitches through the armor and one-shots you. These SPAs in my opinion should never ever be able to destroy a tank from the front, never. But if it happens, it should be super rare, not common as it is right now. It just pisses me off that SPAs are more capable to destroying heavily armored tanks than tanks tanks themselves, which is kind of funny. Nerf these things to the ground. If they got on your side or rear, so be it, but from the front it is unacceptable. The tank from the front shouldn't die in an instant because of SPAs, maybe outside of ill-protected tanks like the AMX or the Leopard. Actually, the real point 10 is to make better tutorials to explain the game mechanics for beginners for every game mode and make the controls less frustrating. But anyway, that's it from me today. What do you think about this? Did I miss something? What would you add to this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed this kind of video, then please share, leave a like, comment and sub for more Pleasant Peasant entertainment. See you around.